Okay, everybody. I haven't played in like 5 days at all on my main or otherwise because of the Resident Evil remake, but let's get to episode 5. Pretty sure this is 5. And we were doing the dungeon, right? Yeah. Main story dungeon is next. Go with NPCs. Let's see if I remember how to play. Shocking, I actually have not been on this every day. All I see when I see the Terra Deep Cross, for some reason, I just see Temtem. That's all I can think of. And I have no idea why, because there's nothing to do with Undertale or anything. It's just... that's what comes to mind. Ugh. Let's see, which one... okay, that gets the power surge. Actually... 1 second. Okay. For some reason, this is a lot louder than when I was playing Resident Evil for some reason. I didn't think I adjusted the volume, but potentially when I put it down to charge, I turned up the volume. It was like screaming in my ears. Which I don't think that has anything to do with the video, so y'all just hearing it at a normal volume. I, on the other hand, was hearing it very loud in my ears. Most dungeons are pretty much rinse and repeat. Like, at least the beginner ones. But some of the later ones are quite fun, in my opinion. Not that these aren't fun, but like, the variety is much better in the later ones, in my opinion. These are nice to get into the game now, because like these are relatively easy, even with the NPCs. I think there's only a couple dungeons for like the main story, like base game, that are hard in my opinion. And not even necessarily hard, just for a new player it's a little harder. Because some dungeons have specific mechanics you need to learn, and if you don't learn them, it can mess you over. Whereas here, these are more get used to the class you pick. Oh, that's right, I put the wave on the bar. I was like, what is that? It's the wave. It's the wave emote. Good thing is I am a DPS main, so most of these skills, besides the Lancer specific ones, aren't hard for me to figure out. I'm not high enough in the Lancer yet to have a unique skill set, so like, I'm not like learning everything on the fly. It's just Which one is my combo? Okay, and like I said, there is technically like not trophy or achievements, but like, you know, the in-game achievements for covering the map. So like that room, I don't think I had to go into at all. Not that it matters. It's just a couple enemies, you can go in quick and clear it out. Some of the later dungeons might be its own video. Because depending on if I die or restart kind of thing, it might take the full time. Also, these dungeons you can technically run with people, so like they're not required to be NPCs. So like I could run this on my main with somebody, that kind of stuff. You can also turn off the level sync, so you could do it just like 2 people. And I could be like, look, for example, I could be like 80, and you like come in here. What am I? Yeah, I'm 19 right now for this. I'm higher than 19, I believe, if I remember right. It's just sinking me down to 19. Like I'm just jumping in after like a couple weeks off, like, yeah. They'll come back to me. It's like riding a bike, as they always say. Although ironically, and I've said this multiple times, I actually don't know how to ride a bike. Fun fact, I've never rode a bike. Well, I've technically rode one with training wheels, but I never actually learned how to do it without training wheels. And I've never tried in many, many years, because that was when I was a kid. So I always find that saying really funny to say. It's just like riding a bike. Wouldn't know, I never rode one. Also, at some point, I might, to speed up things, get items from my main character. That way, you don't have to I don't have to redo everything, like, once we get to, like, crafting abilities and stuff. But we'll see. See how it goes with the side content, because, I know I'm showing it for stream, so I might not do that, but we'll see. I could for sure throw you over there. You're small enough. I could probably throw you too. You guys should go over there. We won't tell the elf. I think it's funny, it's like literally right there, like, hey, you should go there, but you can't. Also, of course, if anybody's sees this and whatnot, feel free to comment or whatnot on the videos. What you're liking, what you're not. Then I can decide. I think I've decided that I'm gonna focus the main story and my class fully. not do any of the side content until, well, besides certain things like unlocking the challenge log and that kind of stuff, until I get through the main story. And then before moving on to an expansion, we'll probably do all the side content. But that's something I haven't 100% decided. It might just be I decide I want to do this today, so that's what we're doing once we get through the main story. See, that was a chest I didn't need to come here for, but clearing more of the fog of war off the map. And since I know there's at least one person that's watching that doesn't know gaming that much in general terms, I'm not sure if they know it. What I mean by fog of war is, like, you see this is uncovered yet. As I'm walking, it's uncovering the map. It's what in a lot of games was called fog of war back in the day. Specifically with real-time strategy games. But I guess it was used for everything. But you see, once we get through this room and walk forward, the map will uncover more. So if I ever say fog of war, I'm referring to just clearing the map up a bit. Which I might have even kind of explained. I know I explained the map. I don't know if I explained that it was called fog of war. But yeah, you'll watch if once we get up here, more of it will pop into place. There we go. A new section appeared. This is another reason I'm doing it with NPCs, because when I do the dungeons where I have to actually play with other people, for one, I do have a keyboard, but I'm not going to have them in chat because I'm recording. So I'm also not going to take like periodical stops to explain that kind of thing. I'm just going to play the dungeon. I will, however, watch the cutscenes. So if they don't wait for me in the cutscenes, well then, you know, that's on them. I'm not the healer and I'm not the tank, so I'm not needed right away anyway. If y'all want to rush the sprout in the cutscenes, then that's on you that you're 1 DPS down. I also, because queue times could take a while, I probably won't start recording until we're in the queue. So, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't decided how that's going to go, because I have waited before over an hour for a queue, and I'm not going to put that in the video. So, I might just start recording the second I say okay to jump in the queue. So probably with certain dungeons, it's going to be kind of a jump cut. But that's only to save you from having to wait in the queue with me. Which is one benefit to doing it. Because when I'm on stream with this, I really don't like waiting. Just because it's like, I don't want to sit here on an hour on a stream and have y'all wait for me to queue up. But in the case of the video, I can do that without you all seeing it, and then still seeing the dungeon. Because they did all of, pretty much all, if not the majority of post-game Stormblood on stream. There's one dungeon that was taking forever to get into. also gonna at some point test, once I unlock it, a dungeon that I duo with Striker, and see how recording goes. Where maybe you'll hear her in my videos as well, since Discord was added, and I'm not sure if the videos will pick up Discord. I think the recordings will pick up a PlayStation party, so if they do it like Xbox, it should, but I don't know how well it's gonna be heard, or she's gonna be heard and whatnot. So those will be testing videos most likely. But I haven't gotten, she's been busy, so I haven't really tested that with her. Well, I have been busy too, so. There's a lot of future stuff with this series. I just love Final Fantasy. Honestly, I might like this specific Final Fantasy almost as much as I like Resident Evil. Almost. Let's not go crazy now though, but very close. This is a side room, so okay, yeah, we have a chest in here. That's a weapon for a different class. Hank, you're supposed to get the one that was trying to bite me, not the one further away from me. That's in. How dare you block us out? Impenetrable barrier prevents further progress. Get on my back and jump over it. Tank you up. This tank stutter there, like, oh wait, there's more that aren't attacking me. The rosary is mine. Use the cultist rosary? Yes. Fuck you and your barrier. You thought! I need an AoE. I'm trying to think of when I got my AoE on my monk. I only have like a couple AoE spells on my monk. And mostly single target. I'm not sure if the Lancer is single target or not. I'm not too worried if I am single target, because obviously my main is a single target pretty much. So. Be surprised. Come hither, children of the dawn. The undying master will drink deep tonight. Mapping of the Temterra Deep Cross. And I still think of Temtem. You are not getting any friends. What do you say about friends? Send your friends home. Some instances, it's faster to just focus the boss, but you'd be surprised, especially in earlier dungeons, as a tank, being hit by that many enemies is really bad. But you have to take out these guys because they're buffing you. guess I should move. Generally, you don't want to stand in any of those. Those could be the difference of life and death, so. Good to go. Let's see. Report to mother. Are we near? We are near the lavender bed. So let's go over there to get rid of this, just because we will get teleportation stuff for that. And just to get it off the side, because not a fan of keeping stuff on that I'm not finishing. But also, I think I was running shorter for time to record last time, and since I am not streaming today in preparation for the 29th and stuff, I technically have a all night that I can stream if I need, or record. I can record all night if I want to. A good day to you, sir. What can I... you wish to know about the auctions. Very well, allow me to explain. There is a growing concern that our immigration policies have been a tad restrictive in the past. And so, the Seed Seer Council and the Order of the Twin Adder have, with the blessing of the elementals, decreed that the lavender beds be set aside for adventurers. Adventurers who possess the necessary funds to purchase and maintain their estates, that is. Should you look upon the beds with your own eyes, though, I think you'll agree that it's well worth the price. Have a word with the skipper over yonder, and she'll ferry you across. A recruit stationed at the pier can tell you more about the beds once you've arrived. To proceed with the quest, you may visit any residential ward within the lavender beds. Okay, take me there. So, these places are technically, which... I just noticed that they're showing names, so let's... this will be sped up, so let's just go to the first ward. I might cover that up in the video, because I'm trying to keep people's names out of it. But, any which way, the houses here are either up for sale or they're not. And if you don't log in for a certain amount of time, I don't know how long. I actually don't own one, because I am a broke bitch in this game. I do not have the means to purchase any. But yeah, you can get like your houses here, which if you look, it's a bunch of houses and different symbols on them mean different things. Yeah, like a big house, get all this. But anyway, greetings, adventurer, and welcome to the lavender bed. Oh, you come at the behest of a Gridonian woman. I regret to inform you that these plots are reserved for adventurers. Your friend will not be permitted to take part in the auctions. You, on the other hand, would be more than welcome to participate, should you have a mind to purchase a plot for yourself. Pray speak with the resident caretaker. He guides you through the process. I'm not gonna bother really looking around here, but yeah, each place has their own housing unit. We're gonna jump over there, which is quite interesting. I definitely want to get house eventually, but I might. I've kind of already told Striker that I'm just gonna bum her house. Like she's gonna get one, and I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I'm taking a room. I'm staying here, thank you. Let's see. Good to see you again, friend. Did you learn anything about the lavender beds? Oh, adventurers only? Is that so? Well, these are trying times. It's more important than ever for Godonia to attract capable individuals like yourself. I'm sure that one day my dreams will come to fruition. One day I'll have my own cottage and stables filled with my beloved chocobos. Yeah, the only point of this is that it allows you to teleport around the residential area and stuff. So if you need to, it's just kind of a quick jump there. These only scalp. Oh, I know what that one was. Anyway, let us return to Mother. And I think I've made comments of this. I don't know if I've ever selected one of these, but if you try to select a red quest, it tells you what you need. I need to be level 60 to start this one. And I need of war or magic discipline. Which here. These are the magics and war disciplines. And then these are all the hand and land ones. The land are what you do to gather, like the mining and all that, the ore and whatnot that you use for crafting. I actually really enjoy being a crafter, and like seeing these at 0 are like bothering me because like most of mine are 70 to 80, with some being like 90. My miner is 90 on my main, so I'll have to redo all of that again eventually as well. Ooh, it's been a while. Is he, Hey! Nothing changes. He is always there. My buddy is always here. The buddy that I have never talked to. Oh, people are dancing over here. Welcome back, Kiggles. I'm reliably informed that your foray into the deep croft was a success. Nor did I expect anything less. You've made such a habit of succeeding that it's difficult not to take your talents for granted. Rest assured, however, Mother is impressed, even if she isn't surprised. Bolord Lewin asked me to pass on his thanks. I must say, it's something of a relief to be able to call upon such a capable adventurer. Sadly, death has become an ever more common occurrence within our fraternity of late. Times being what they are, the guild is constantly inundated with petitions, and we are hard-pressed to find enough hands to deal with them all. While this means no shortage of work for able souls such as yourself, it also provides ample opportunity for the inexperienced to overreach themselves with predictable consequences, as if to illustrate the point. If you're just gone and it's all your fault, if it hadn't taken you an age to heal him, he would still be alive. But I tried. He bolted out of range before I could finish my spell. He shouldn't have been so hard-pressed in the first place. We should have done more to lighten his burden. Bah! To hell's with this pathetic excuse for a party. I'm leaving. and it'd be too soon if I could never see your faces again. Goodbye and good riddance. I'm leaving as well. I doubt this comes as any surprise, but I never liked you. I only suffered you for your healing, but you couldn't even do that one thing right. Cruel though this may sound, you brought this upon yourself. Oh, and by the way, some parting advice. Get rid of his head. Bury it. Cremate it. Do whatever the hells you like with it. But for God's sake, stop carrying it around. It's just, get rid of it, alright? But wait, don't leave me alone, please? I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Scenes like this have become all too common. That makes a dozen times in half as many days. Now you see why I'm grateful for adventures of your experience. I can send men like you on a mission without worrying that you might not return. Well, not so much, at any rate. Speaking of missions, I would entrust you with another. About a bell ago, I received a message from my counterpart in Udall. She seeks the services of a reliable adventurer, and you are nothing if not reliable. If you think you might be interested in this task, say the word, and I will be glad to share the details with you. So I always found that little exchange from those adventures interesting. One, I think it's kind of funny because her comment about them darting out of range for heal is so goddamn true in MMOs. I haven't been a healer much in Final Fantasy, but as a healer main in some other free-to-play MMOs growing up, people would run out of range of your spells all the goddamn time, and then wonder why they didn't get healed. I also think they're just being asses to her, but also, if this is like real life kind of thing, why are you carrying around his head? Like, put him to rest. Oh, why just his head? If that's all you have, bury it too. I don't know. I always found that exchange very weird. So you're not averse to taking a little trip. Wonderful. As I mentioned earlier, the request comes to us from the Adventurers Guild in Udall. Once you arrive, seek out Momo? I forget how you say her name. The proprietress of the Quicksand. Think of her as the Sultanate's version of myself. Chances are she'll send you into the midst of danger, but I have every confidence that you will pull through unscathed. Now, off you go, Kiggles, and good luck. To Udall. What do we got here? It's a purple over here. What this? Oh, I know what this is. We'll set this up, but we won't, we won't spend much time there. It could happen to you. Do be careful with those. Break anything and I shall be forced to deduct it from your salary. Beg pardon? What is my loyal manservant carrying? Why, a not-so-small fortune in prizes. Ably won by yours truly in the Gold Saucer. You have heard of the Gold Saucer. Nye? Ye gads, man, you might at least try to keep up with the times. It's only the Sultanate's newest and finest place of entertainment. Thrill to the sight of majestic birds roaring down the streets at the chocobo races, pit your wits against your peers at the triple tirade tables. At the Gold Saucer, one can do all this and more, and if you know what you're about, you'll walk out a wealthier man than you entered. If there's a place to shake off one's cares after a grueling day of promenading, I've never heard of it. Did I mention that the female attendants are particularly easy on the eye? Wink wink. Ah, but I dare say you'd rather discover them for yourself. Yes, I'll wager you're wondering just how, in Thal's good name, you can experience the wonders of the Gold Saucer firsthand. Am I right, or am I right? Ha, I thought as much. Well, since this has been my lucky day, I don't see why it shouldn't be yours too. I just so happen to have a spare golden airship ticket, you see. Consider it a gift from one eligible young man about town to another. Just show the ticket to that lovely girl in the uniform over at the landing, and you'll have a seat on the next airship bound for revelry and riches. Be fairly warned, though. You may expect no mercy from me should our paths cross at the triple tirade tables. Nay, not so much as an ounce. Yeah, the Golden Saucer. We'll go there later. Just to get it off the list. You know, out of all the time I've been here, this is new. Oh, I just noticed it's decorated for Easter. I haven't been on in like a week, so. I was gonna say I haven't heard this music, but this music might be the Easter music over here, because it's decorated. Got a bunch of eggs and everything. I wonder if there's an Easter mission. I'll have to double check that later. Because if there is, I haven't done it. I love that they decorate for like Valentine's Day and stuff and Christmas. It was very interesting to see like Christmas decorated here because, I mean, hello, we're in like the desert. Welcome to the Quicksand, friend. I'm a tad busy right now, if you wouldn't mind showing yourself to... Judged by your determined expression, I take it you ain't here for ale. Are you called Kiggles Burton by any chance? Mother sent word that you'd be reporting for duty. She also made a point of calling you the adventurer of the moment. That ain't no small praise coming from her. But you didn't come all the way to here to listen to my prattle. Doubtless you're eager to get started, so let's talk business, shall we? The petitioner ought to be arriving any moment now. Gods almighty, another second under that sun, and I would have been set afire, a tankard of ale, if you'd be so kind. Papa Shen. Excellent timing, Papa Shen. It just so happens the adventurer who will be handling your petition is here. So this strapping young lad is the much lauded adventurer, is he? Marvelous, marvelous. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, good sir. I am Papa Shan, formerly of the Sultan's Sworn. I thank you for agreeing to lend us your aid. Mayhap you like to appraise Kiggles of his mission? Yes, of course. The petition in question was submitted by an acquaintance of mine at... I'm not going to say that, in Sun's Mineral Concern, because I know I'm going to butcher that name. So, I'm not even going to try. It relates to an unfortunate development at Copperbell Mines. To be plain, Giants have seized control of the place. These giants are of the clan known as the Hecatun. What the? Okay. You know, I don't always pay attention to the names, so I don't actually remember that name, to be honest. Fearsome creatures who were sealed within the deepest depths of the mines during the bygone Thorn Dynasty? I don't know why I read that as Thorn. Or Throne at first. Alas, it seems they have managed to break through the layer of rock which served to imprison them, and now prowl the tunnels where the miners ply their trades. The creatures are justifiably angry about their treatment at the hands of our ancestors, and their presence has forced the suspension of all mining activities on the site. It's no wonder they're angry. Didn't the Thorn Dynasty come to an end over 300 years ago? You know your history well, my lady. The people of that age used them to work their mines by way of enchanted helms. They were able to bind the ferocious creatures to their will, but as is oft the way in such tales, these enchantments eventually failed, and the slaves rose up against their masters. In a desperate bid to contain the unbridled fury of them, our ancestors induced the collapse of the mines' lowermost levels, so it was that the great giant revolt was ended, buried beneath 100,000 tons of rock. Well, now, that's got me thinking. I seem to recall there being an article about Copper Bell in the Mithril Eye a fortnight or so ago. It said the mines were being reopened so as to meet the rising demand for building materials. Like as not, our boys dug a bit too deep and freed the giants. Gods, to think the poor creatures are still alive and kicking after 3 centuries. That's a long time to nurse a grudge. They must be seething. Indeed, and that makes them a danger to us all. There will be no mining at the Copper Bell so long as they remain. For sake of both peace and prosperity, they must be subdued. This is the task which we would have you undertake. I'll not deny that the mission will be rife with danger, but our need is great, and so I beg you, put an end to this sorry business. Gods bless you. I feared you might have reservations, but I assure you it is for the best. In case you don't know, Copper Bell mines are in western Thanalan. Do take care, you hear? Ah, and one last thing before you depart. An employee of the Sun's is presently at Quicksand. The fellow's name is Painted Mesa, and he knows Copper Bell mines well. It may behoove you to seek his counsel. Oh, hi. He appeared behind me. Looking for Painted Mesa. You found him. So, you're the adventurer who's volunteered to deal with the mess down in the Copper Bell, are you? You got guts, mate. I just hope you've got skills to go with them, 'cause things ain't pretty down there. They have left the place in a right state, and nary a week after mining resumed. I don't know if you know this, but Copper Bell was old when the second Yule Dynasty was still young. And it was abandoned centuries ago. If it hadn't been for the shortage of materials needed for the rebuilding effort, the concern would never have thought to reopen it. We knew full well about the giants beforehand, but the project went ahead anyway. I mean, nothing could possibly survive it being buried under a mountain's worth of rock for 3 centuries, right? Wrong. Also, all that spell casting next to me is like, ooh, shiny. Our miners dug up more than they bargained for. One swing of the pickaxe too many, and they found themselves in the company of giants, Unless we can subdue them, the nation's glorious recovery will grind to a halt for want of aught to build with. The stone torches are keeping watch over the entrance in the case the giants fancy some sunlight and fresh air. One of them will be able to show you the way in. The hope of the nation's resting on you. Best of luck. I haven't even been out there yet. Okay. Is that central? Western. So this one. The one down there. Okay. Oh, the eggs! Wanna pick them up? We're gonna get out there, but we're gonna have to cut the part soon. Not the episode, but the part. So. Discovered a new place. And with that, new stuff. Let's see. That's the other Udall place. We'll be back and forth there, so I'm not going to worry about going over there yet. But we will. Oops. Is there... No, doesn't look like it. First place is up there, so we'll go to Horizon first. If you haven't tell, I like to get the crystals and whatnot. I am not going to, I will grab this since we're passing it. But I'm not going to, do it yet. Have you heard of the news about the goblet? All that quality land so desperately coveted is being auctioned off to bidders regardless of their origins. Even adventurers have the right to participate. Just imagine the entire area could end up owned by wealthy foreign. Beg your pardon, sir. It isn't that I dislike adventurers. Far from it. But when you consider that Udall is still struggling to accommodate countless refugees, the idea that this land is being sold for profit is not surprising whatsoever, come to think of it. Still, the least they could do is give preferential treatment to hardworking Udallians like me. I've been saving for years, just waiting for an opportunity like this to come along. Say, you wouldn't happen to be curious as well, would you? About the goblet? My hands are full here, but if you've a moment to head that way, look into this auction business on my behalf. I'd be ever so grateful. There's bound to be an immortal flames representative by the gates or in the goblet, who can explain what's going on. This wouldn't happen without General Ruban's approval. Of that much, I'm sure. Yeah, so it's the same place as the Lavender Beds. It's just for Udall, which is over there. We'll get that when we come back. We're gonna get to the crystal, and then we are gonna cut the part, make sure it recorded fine, and then start the second because we're already at 55 minutes. And I can only record up to 60. So I actually really like that. I don't know if this is a new feature, You definitely didn't get this on Xbox when you recorded stuff, but at the top it says once you hit 55 minutes, it actually pops up. So I'm actually seeing a record symbol up there telling me that I'm close to 60. So I'm watching the timer. And like I said, this episode 5 will be a two-parter, just like every other one. So this will not be ending here. It will just be clipping in a couple seconds for you. We'll attune to this and then we'll clip it. Now I have this crystal to teleport to. And we will be right back. And we're back. Okay. Let's see. That was only a couple minutes. I just checked my phone. Well, my phone has my Discord and stuff, so I just checked messages, make sure I didn't have anything that was important, and we're back on it. Into a copper hell. He must be hot. Dude, these things at a distance are creepy as hell. Thankfully they don't trigger my arachnophobia, but like they definitely get the ick factor from me. There's been an incident inside Copperbell Mines. We are here to ensure that its effects are contained. But for your own safety, I suggest you stay well away from it. Well away from here, not it. What? You're the adventurer who's volunteered to quell them? I didn't think that Papa Sean would be able to find someone so quickly, if at all. The giants are content to wreak havoc inside the mines for now, but it's only a matter of time before they think to come outside. The sooner you see them, the better. Make ready as best you can and enter at will. And we're gonna get Dungeon 2 now. These beginning ones are a lot quicker than the later ones, though, so... It's actually fun, even though I've only been playing for a few months. It's really fun going back and doing the earlier stuff again. Revisiting stuff that my mind is somewhat forgotten. Not fully though. Like I remember a lot of this stuff already. Like how that guy dropped a tiny key. I actually like this, See you later, NPCs. See you on the flip side. Bye, guys. I'm going to solo the dungeon. Never mind, they're here. I love that about the NPCs. They're just like, no, I'll teleport down. Hey, it's 1 a.m. in game and 1 a.m. in real life. What we got over here? Nothing. Hello, big boy. Also, okay, there's like a tunnel there. I was like, were you just like inside the wall? Cause like from this angle, it didn't look like there's anything in there. So I was like, were you just literally like sleeping inside the wall? Like, what? There's at least more room there. Also, why am I yawning? I'm not tired. I woke up late. Kind of back on my night owl schedule, so. I do just yawn always because I'm always tired. To some degree. It's what insomnia does to you. You're just always tired. Even when I sleep, half the time I don't sleep well. Nothing there, but it shows on the maps that we're good. Come on, tank, take your target. Thank you. Copper carrier. I see you to buff yourself up right before you fall over or die. Also, the day of me recording this, I don't know if I'll actually have this I should have this up before the week is over, so... I have a poll on Twitter of what games you want to see me do on stream. And while I might do them all, eventually, if you're seeing this when it's still up, go ahead and vote. Let me know. I think last I looked, Spider-Man was winning. But there's not many votes right now, so. Get the fire sand. So if I remember right, it tells you a certain amount if you click this first. Yeah, you need 12 ounces. So you need 2 of those fire sands. Activate the blasting device. Let's go! Okay, you spun him. Excuse me. Excuse me. They're all like, run away! Hey. Let us beat your ass. So, how you doing? How you been? Hey, what are you doing? Don't look at me. I don't want your rock. Okay, it's gonna be... Oh no, it's not. I was gonna say it's gonna be where I'm standing, probably. I was actually in the safe spot. Punk. My key and my treasure, which apparently I've already gotten from another chest. What about you? Also something I've apparently already gotten? By the way, I have no idea how this works with other people for lifts, so you probably don't want to ditch people unless you really do want to do the dungeon by yourself. No fire sand. Perhaps there's more in another room. I like how if you actually pay attention to the chat, you get hints. Sadly, that goes really fast, so if you don't know to look for that, because I think it's dialogue that appears above their head that gets sent into chat like that. Because yeah, I know there's been some dungeons where I look back and I see the NPC had been like, "We need to go behind here," and I didn't see it. And so I ended up just tanking it to the face. So it's a good idea to keep an eye out for stuff like that. Sometimes it can be vital. Obviously, in this case, you don't see it, because I'm pretty sure I've never saw that until now. And I've done this a few times. So it was just obvious, hey, well, if it ain't in front of me, I have to go look for it. I wonder if this dungeon shares the greens with, like, the Tempera and stuff. So I don't think I've gotten that much stuff in here to already be getting duplicates. You can only get one though, so at a time, unless you like have it elsewhere, so. It makes sense. I was like, where is the music? This is so, like, eerie. There was no music playing. It's like, are we in a boss battle? What's going on here? Great divide! Light it again, huh? Perfect. No, I don't want your syrup. Keep dividing. Stay with the tank because that's where the boss is gonna go, so. The first time I got split from him, so I couldn't attack during the explosions. Hey, I leveled up. And bam. This episode's gonna just be dungeons with this, right? We got a double dungeon episode. I don't actually mind. I like the dungeons, to be honest. Like, they're not bad. We're just not getting a ton of action right now. There's gonna be downtime. There's stuff I still haven't decided if, like, I'm going to just stream it and then have like a 7-hour stream of just like this grinding session kind of thing, or what? Because there are some things I think would just be probably boring for an episode, but I still want to show everything, so that's why we're gonna focus purely on like story at first, and we'll get to some of the grinding stuff later. Unless there's anything, I don't think there's anything that I'm gonna have to grind before beating the base game story anyway. No, thank you. Hey, we have a big boy. Bringing me right round, baby, right round. That's the third time I've been denied getting that. Well, second time, I think. Third time I've gotten it, obviously. It is rude. Boss cutscene. Slaves no more. Free! Free! Masters must pay. Masters must die. Never again. Never! It's kind of sad. Like, they were slaves. I can kind of understand why they got pissed off. At last, their leader shows himself. But I also get why, for the pure sake of preservation, we have to stop them from taking our city, right? Which is kind of sad. No. I need distance closer. Oh, Colossus slam someone else. So, how you doing? If I had a distance closer, I could have went in there right away. We're not gonna get to highs yet. Let's get a limit break in there. We were gonna get the max limit break anyway before he died, so. This is a little tight. I leveled up too. What is it, 2 levels up? 7? Yeah. Full thrust. Oh yeah, that's right. Delivers an attack. Oh! Warple Blade is my set. Okay, so we have our... Gotcha. That's our 3rd combo. So put that there. Whoops. Not what I meant. Whoopsie. There we go. Now it's 1, 2, 3. We got a 3rd for the combo. Oh, we got the... Okay, so that's just... I don't know everything you can do with it, but... You get these music rolls. And you can use it in, like, the end. I'm guessing some things outside of the end and whatnot, but... It's music for your room, essentially. Okay, painted Mesa should be back in Uldal. So before we head back to Uldal, let's... Oh wait, I forgot to click the Chocobo over there in Horizon too. I'll have to do that. I'm not sure if you have to actually interact with them all. I think you do for the first time. Obviously, we would be here again, but you might just need to like be in the area. Yeah, but it didn't have a thing, so I think it just might be in the area. I'm not sure, but we'll quickly go visit Ildal's residence as well. Level am I now? I'm 26. Almost 30. When we get to 30, or maybe 35, we'll go back and do the Lancer missions. I need to cross the bridge. The only reason I say that is because there's something specific that happens at 30 with most of the classes, so that's when we definitely need to go back there and make sure we get other skills and whatever else they have. I think also uniform for your class, so it'll be worth doing them once we get there. Technically worth doing them right away, but I'd rather have a couple of them to do than just one at a time. I like the little cactuses. Up there. There you go. But the action, Hey, 'tis true, in an effort to encourage immigration to our great nation, all lands within the goblet are to be set aside for adventurers like yourself. Tragic, some might say, that only adventurers will be permitted to settle within its wards, but such decisions were made by men wiser than I. A beautiful place, the goblet. A man-made oasis, built atop a towering... What? All I see is butt, and I don't know how you say that. Or if that is how you say it, and what it is. But why bother explaining when you can see it for yourself? Just head through the gates and follow the road. If you wish to know more about the goblet, speak with the recruit station just past the entrance. He will be happy to assist you. Proceed, yeah. This, it's going to do the same thing, so we're going to just be very quickly, and that might be covered, that might not. There might just be a big ass version of my logo over that entire menu. It's probably what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to just stretch out my profile picture, and just like I did with other names in the past, and cover it up. Greetings, adventurer, and welcome to the Goblet. Beg your pardon? An Uldal woman asked you to learn more about the auctions? Oh dear. As you may have heard, these plots are reserved exclusively for adventurers. Since your friend is an Uldal citizen, she is ineligible to participate. Should you yourself have a mind to purchase a plot, pray speak with the resident caretaker. He can guide you through the process. And now we will leave, as before. Go talk to her and tell her that she can't get here. And then we'll go report to Painted Mesa and see where that takes us. So we probably got we got more time for another mission or so, depending on how long they are. You've returned. Tell me, what have you learned of the auctions? And what do you mean it's reserved exclusively for adventurers? I mean, sure, times are tough, and every nation is scrambling to attract formidable fighters. But what about my needs? What about my 40 acres and a chocobo? Bah, it's just not fair. Whoops, I didn't mean to make that bigger. Popped up right as I clicked the thing to zoom in on her. Nothing like a coffin fit. Okay. Now, we'll head back. I could walk back, but I'm a lazy ass. There's a party of people up here. They all like they're standing around each other. I'm guessing they're friends. Oh god. I mean, this dance is better than the Vera. The Vera's default dance is really dumb. She just kind of spins in place, and at least he's trying. He's not succeeding, but he is trying. Ding, ding, ding. He really is. He's dancing about as well as I do, though. Oh, this. If we don't have enough time, I'll pause it at a certain point, but I don't think it's that long. So let's go. So we're pushing about 40 minutes. I don't think this series of stuff is that long. The Conqueror of Copper Bell returns. Thanks to you, our mining operations can resume, and Udal will have the materials she needs to rebuild. The entire nation's in your debt, friend. I'll share the good tidings with Papa Shan the next time I see him. As for you, you'll want to report to Mama. It'll do the woman well to see you alive and in one piece. No! Shut your mouth, you thieving little swine. You stole from me. Don't even think to deny it. Please, sir. I didn't steal nothing. I bought this. Paid for it with my own coin. What rot. You refugees are all the same. Couldn't afford maggoty mole meat, much less a choice cut of Dodo. I'm going to say it one more time. Give back what you stole, or I'll make you wish you've never set foot in this town. By rights, I should turn you over to the brass blades, you know, help keep the streets safe for law-abiding citizens. But I'm a reasonable man. If you agree to serve me in whatever capacity I require, the authorities needn't hear of your crime. Dickhead. But I ain't done nothing wrong. 12 as me witness. I fuck that. Please, adventure, help me, I beg of you. I swear on my mother's grave, I didn't steal nothing. I bought this with the coin I'd saved. I only wanted to treat me children to a decent meal. Leave her alone, bitches. And who the hells are you with? Are you when you're at home? This dog's master? I've had enough of this mummer's farce. You lot, teach them a lesson. Bitch, please. Whoops. Oh, it dropped me lower, so I don't have the third combo yet. I'm way above the level of this. Filthy bodyguard. I love it. Not bad for an adventurer. Ugh. I should have stopped at the 7th AO. Stop bloody gawking at me and give me a hand, will ye? There we go. There's your buddy. Bugger, bugger, bugger. Nasty. You didn't stand much a chance. You and me now, buddy. I like how you two joined the fray after you died. Buddy was almost dead. What about you, bitch? You want some too? I ain't getting paid enough for this. Hey, where the hells do you think you're going? By the way, I love his name is Obnoxious Merchant, by the way. Thank ye, kind adventurer. Thank you thrice over. And the headache. I just imagine this must give me a headache from, like, seeing these things. I swear there were more refugees than when I last looked. And you wouldn't be mistaken. But it's been 5 years since the calamity. Why are they only coming here now? It's simple, really. While a number of hamlets survived the immediate aftermath of the calamity, many were no longer able to support their communities. The residents found their lands had either been rendered barren or cut off from the trade routes. And problems like those aren't easily solved. Though they tried to make the best of it, it was only a matter of time before they were forced to abandon their homes and seek a new life in the city. I see. But the calamity affected the whole realm, didn't it? Is the same thing happening in the other cities? If the talk is true, yes. Though perhaps our situation is more pronounced, Udall has a reputation for being prosperous. So it's natural that the refugees would try their luck here first. My heart goes out to them, it truly does, but I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't apprehensive. I hope their presence doesn't foment lawlessness in the city. Well, if things do take a turn for the worst, we always have the immortal flames. I dare say the brass blades would welcome their help. The heroes who fought the Garland Empire? Patrolling the streets for riffraff? It may well come to that. Impoverished and desperate as they are, you may be sure that some of the refugees will turn to crime. You know what this place is like. If you've no coin, you've no hope. What will become of our city? Not all refugees are bad, mind you. Some are able to find employment and lead honest lives. Dodo tenderloins. Get your Dodo tenderloins. Guaranteed cheapest in Thanalan. Thanalan? I don't know how you say that. Thank you for your custom, madame. Please come again. Looking around, you think that Udall was well on its way to recovery. But peer through the veil of prosperity and you'll see no end to the misery and suffering. Sir? Are you alright? I saw a bite in my head. Well, what now? You mean to threaten a defenseless citizen? What? Saw her buy that meat, you say? That's absurd. Aye, as did I. Leave the poor woman alone, you damnable vulture. Who said that? Grr, I'll overlook this, but just this once. She didn't do nothing wrong, you jackass. God's bless ye, adventurer. If you hadn't come along when you did, who knows what that monster might have done. It don't bear thinking about. Case closed. Hello again. We have been keeping a close eye on you ever since you left Gridania. You discharged your duty as envoy impeccably and never once faltered in the face of myriad dangers. But more importantly, you were always ready to help those in need, even if you didn't stand to earn a guild by doing so. You are possessed of all the qualities we seek in an adventurer. Of this we are convinced. Even if you were kind of dragged into that business with the Dodo meat. Yes, thank you, Ida. Ahem. And then there's the matter of your gift. I dare say you are curious as to the nature of the vision you bore witness to moments ago. Well, we can help you to understand it. You're not the only one with that power, you know. We have a friend who has it too, and we'd love for you to meet her. And meeting her is only the beginning, for we would also have you lend your strength to our cause. In return, we should be glad to assist your adventuring endeavors in whatever way we are able. Should you decide to take us up on our offer, and I sincerely hope you will, pray speak with Momo. The proprietress of the Quicksand is a good friend of ours. She will tell you where to find us. Wait a minute. We haven't even told you the name of our order. We're the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, Defenders of Justice. Oh, but don't tell anyone, except for Momo. She knows already. Okay, that spun me around. I literally, this is my main hometown on my main, and I still get spun around every once in a while. I for some reason thought that little exchange was longer. Scenes like that are becoming ever more common, I'm afraid. Don't worry though. If you work hard, you'll probably be alright. Saying that, if you ever find yourself in a spot of bother, come and see me. Just don't go pester me every time you graze your knee, eh? Of course, I do enjoy hearing tell of a gentleman's woes with the woman folk from time to time. Ah, Kiggles, sorry to keep you waiting. I was just providing guidance to a fresh-off-the-carriage adventurer. But gods, it's good to see you safe and well. To look at you, no one would ever guess you've been hard at it with the giants in the dark. You're every ilm the adventurer mother said you'd be, Kiggles. The station master will be overjoyed when he hears the news. Oh, before I forget, there's a lass here who wants a word with you. Didn't actually know your name, but hearing her description, I knew who she meant right away. Thank you for sparing the time. I realize you don't know me, but I've been longing to speak with you for a while. Huh? My name is Ida. I'm an adventurer like you, though I'm not very good at being one. If truth be told, anyway. Anyway, I was adventuring with my friends in Gridania when... I'm sorry, we were in Gridania when the leader of our party was killed. His name was of year, and he and I were to be wed in the spring. You may not remember him, but to say that he remembered you would be an understatement. He would sing your praises from dawn to dusk. He saw you for what you are, you see, an adventurer's adventurer, and swore that he would be like you one day. I believe that he would have succeeded had a fiend not robbed him of the chance. Since that day, I have thought long and hard about giving up adventuring. But when I think of the man you are, of all that you've achieved, I find that I am inspired, just as he once was. And so I've decided to start again as an adventurer. I will go back to the village of my birth and begin training anew. But I wanted to meet you first, to ask you your name. Kiggles Burton. I shan't forget it. So, her husband, the head, that because this is the same person from that other cutscene, talked all about me but didn't know my name. Or maybe she just forgot it. Either way, that was interesting. Thank you, Kiggles Burton. I pray that we will meet again. Fare you well. Adventuring can be a cruel, bleeding business. Time was I didn't know why anyone would bother. When they first asked me to take charge of the guild here, I didn't want aught to do with you lot. Thought it'd be right pain in the arse looking after you all. But against my better judgment, I decided to accept the post, and I'm full glad I did. I feel privileged to be a part of your lives. And that goes double for yours, Kiggles. Eh? What'd you say? You want to know about the scions of the Seventh Dawn? They're beginning to move in earnest, then. Listen, Kiggles. The scions ain't no ordinary folk, and the work they do ain't no ordinary work. I know full well how capable you are, but even you would think twice about attempting some of the stuff they do. Knowing that, if you're still certain you want to get involved, I'll tell you what I can. So you want to know more then, do you? Well, ain't that a surprise? I swear, if I painted certain death on one door and limitless wealth on another, 9 out of 10 adventurers would go through the first, and the other bloke wouldn't be able to choose on account of being udalled. Anyway, don't say I didn't warn you. First of all, if you're wondering whether you can trust these signs of the Seventh Dawn, you can. They're good people who have made it their mission to solve some of Eorzea's most pressing problems. Of course, that ain't no small task, so they're always looking for dependable individuals to join them. Individuals like you, Kiggles. Now, I've been given leave to tell you where to find the scions, but you must promise to keep this information to yourself. As you can probably imagine, it's something Eorzea's enemies would very much like to know. Sorry, I'm only telling all of YouTube. The Scions are headquartered in Vesper Bay, out in western Thanon. The place you're looking for is called the Waking Sands. Give your name to whoever's at the entrance, and you'll be let in. You're a man in demand, Kiggles. The days ahead promise to be busy, but I hope you won't forget about them as... I hope you won't forget about them as helped make you into the adventurer you are. Drop in and tell them how you're faring from time to time, you hear? Right, well, I've said my piece. Off you go. So, I think we have enough time to get to Vesper Bay, but we definitely don't have enough time to do any more missions, so... Let's get over there to Horizon, and we'll go and head into Vesper Bay. And then from there, we will call episode 5. Yeah, there's my 55 hour or 55 hour. What the? Did I seriously just say 55 hour? Okay, 55 minute mark popped up on my screen. I do have a stopwatch, like, well, my phone stopwatch going, so I have a general idea before it gets there, but this is too funny. I was like, it should be getting there soon, so. It's so weird, and I know I've said this before, but it's so weird being back in these areas and not having, like, a mountain stuff. I will probably be recording the next episode, so even though I don't know when I'll actually put it up. I might put them back to back when I do it. We'll see. But there will be, just like every other time, an extra part or an extra episode than the one that is currently going up. So okay, we talked to him. There is no crystal here. Closest one is Horizon, so we will talk to this lady when we come back, and then we will go into the Waking Sands and see what the signs are all about. See y'all in the next episode. Have a good night, everybody. Day, whenever you're watching this.